Morning YouTube. So going to pause a little bit on the commercial 10A Kohler 241. So I went out and I was on Facebook Marketplace the other day, and I was did a typical search for Gravely stuff and came across an item that I've been kind of looking for a while to have, just to kind of give me better options for the big machines. So it's basically the PTO quick hitch adapters. These normally go for upwards of, I don't know, 150, 200 bucks I've seen on eBay, and this one I was able to pick up locally for about 60 bucks. So I was pretty happy. So let's dive in, take a look at it, and clean it up. So here it is. It's in really good shape, actually. It's a little rusty, as you can see on the slip clutch itself, but it just looks like a lot of just surface rust. So for those of you who don't know a lot about Gravely's, I'm still learning, so there's still a lot in the newer versions that I don't know. There's still a lot of the older versions, so I'm constantly learning about these. But there's multiple of these quick hitch adapters. This type, and then you have the other type, which I already had when I was running the the kidney on the 5665. So the difference between these two is there's basically there's only three types. There's this type, which is, let me give you a better view here. Sorry about that. So there's basically this type that has no slip, this one that has a slip clutch but a removable horn, and then there's a type just like this that has a non-removable horn. Basically the horn is fixed into these cast iron body. So after learning about this for a little bit, talking with different people, the basic my guess is this was like the first. I could be wrong. Someone could put the comment in below if I'm wrong, but my guess is this came out first, and then they realized this probably caused issues because it's basically a direct drive with no slip clutch to some attachments. So my guess is this was the next generation, or maybe the other one was the next generation, the other one that's full one piece. But basically this one you can use with belt driven attachments, because theoretically if a blade hits a rock or something, the belt's going to slip. Whereas if you were to use this with a brush hog or a tiller or a quick hitch, any of the just straight stuff that bolts on, like the cultivators and all that has no belts, this would cause a problem. Basically, if hit anything hard, it would translate right into the main shaft, right to the engine. Whereas this, because of the slip, it slips. So typically you use these with mower decks that have belts, like the kidney, the 40-inch and a 50-inch. And these you can use with any of them. This can be adapted to use anything this can, but this can't use everything that this can use. So, and the one other, I said there was a third one, well, a third somewhat different one. Like I said, there's two of this type, one removable, one not. And then the third is the type that's on the Pro 16s that I have, you've seen in my other videos, that basically has the Pro series have the slip clutch built into the tractor. So on this end, outward on this, you have basically, this is buried into here, and what it does is it becomes a stopping brake on that third type. So third type, it's a stopping brake. This type, it has a slip clutch. This one has nothing. So just, they're all for just the quick hitch attachments. So let's start taking it apart, brushing it clean, and getting it back up to good condition. I'll probably just brush it down and then coat it with some WD-40. All right, got all the nylon lock nuts off the backside, but as you can see, I don't know if you can see closer. Let me actually pull the camera off and bring it closer. Give me a second. So basically, like I said in the video for the snowblower, when I was working on that slip clutch, the snowblower has 2 free holes, whereas most of these PTO attachments have a tapped hole in the back half. So when you are tightening these and putting them to the right compression, you basically bottom out, and then these you back off a half a turn, and then tighten up the nylon lock nut to lock the position. The ones for that snowblower, the Aaron snowblower, it's 2 free holes, and you basically they're all free floating. So it kind of does the same. It basically performs the same way, but I actually like this a little bit better because it's easier to work with, because you can just do the adjustments and then tighten everything down. So I'm gonna put it back on the tripod and see if I can pull. Actually, I want to see if I can pull this nut off first. I soaked it with liquid wrench, which is really my go-to spray these days. I've used PB Blaster, but I definitely have the most. My dad, turned me towards liquid wrench years ago, and I've been using it on and off. And then I used PB Blasters because it was cheap. But I've been just going back to the liquid wrench for any stuck bolts. But let me actually get a socket for this. I'll have to jam something under here and see if we can break it loose. Make sure I don't bugger up any of these bolts here. Nope. This whole thing's gonna fly at me, you can tell. Knew that was gonna happen. All right. Nope. All right. Time to get the impact gun. Or it does have. It's funny. It has these slots in it. Might be able to tap it and turn it. Let me try that, just for giggles. Moving it, and I don't want to damage the spindle. worst comes to worst, I'm damaging a bolt. I can replace the bolt. That was easy. That was easy. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Bearings sound a little worn. Can't tell if there's any clips that hold them in. I don't think there is. Yeah, there's not. All right. I think it's double bearings from what I remember on the other ones. Oh. Ooh, trying to see the camera. Sorry about that. Looks in good shape, just a little rusty on this end. Needs to be wire brushed up and should be good. Yeah, there you go. A little glitter, but everything else looks good. The splines on that look really good, so I'm psyched about that. This just needs to be wire brushed. Oh, it's needle bearings, roller bearings right there. Can't tell on that. So these look in good shape. These look good. The sealed bearing on this side looks, can't tell, I might buy a new one. Feels smooth. Might just need some grease. I don't know. We'll take a look at it. But all right, cool. Let me just take this apart. You guys don't need to see me undoing nuts that are boring. So that should be good. All right, so didn't really video much, but I basically just cleaned all this stuff up. Used the ultrasonic bath with simple green to get all the grease off, and then just used the wire brush and some scouring pads just to clean all these up. Everything looks good. So what I'll do is I'll assemble all of this. This actually came out much better than I expected. It was actually really rusty, and it actually even just the simple green cleaned it up really well. So but anyways, so I'll assemble this slip clutch back together. I'll probably just spray it down with WD-40 just to keep all these steel parts from rusting. Basically, this gets bathed because it attaches to the front end of the tractor. It gets bathed in a lot of oil, so putting oil on it is that's the way it works. So the plastic friction discs look fine, so I'm going to do that. But the one thing that is rough is the bearing, so I'm going to order a new one. It's a nice bearing. I believe it's 1 1461DC. Yep. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that there. Sorry. 1641DC. I'm just gonna order one off of eBay. It's like $15. It's a little rough. I'll take a look at the needle bearing. I believe it's okay. Everything looks. Usually when those go, they are just trashed. Like they're loose. Yeah, when they're gone. So that one I think is in good shape. So I'll probably just, keep that one. So stay tuned, and I'll come back with the bearing.